What is up, and welcome to my channel. My name is Thrift, and I was able to participate in the closed beta for Maplestory Classic this past week and wanted to share my experience with you. I'd love to hear your thoughts about anything I bring up, so feel free to comment below and let's get right into it. First thing I want to bring up while looking into the Reddit, there is this post here with an in-game message from Inkwell talking about how to earn the Mark of the Beta bandana, which is a very coveted item from back in the day. He mentioned that there will be a way to earn this item later with other opportunities. It's purely my speculation, but this does sound like we will probably have another beta in the near future, which makes sense if you think about it. There was a lot of class imbalance in this beta, and Nemi, which is another lead developer of the Classic server, also agreed on this point about class imbalance with chatting with other players in game, mentioning that this will take some time. So it does sound like there will probably be at least one more beta. Hopefully that's an open beta for everybody to test in the future. Now, for my time in the game though, it felt really good. The gameplay felt awesome. Movement was observably faster than what I remember when playing decades ago. And there's pretty much zero latency moving between maps and portals, which feels awesome. The combat feels great, and the emphasis on party play is a great addition in my opinion. Pretty much every map I walked into had at least a couple people farming away, and it feels really awesome and inclusive to immediately receive a party invite because everyone benefits in a group rather than being asked to change channels or leave the map. With that said, the early grind is really tough. You're constantly struggling to save mesos for potions and equipment, and so it really makes your decisions in the early game important. Sometimes you wouldn't want to spam your skills that cost mana because you would be losing money, and there was actual reason to move and dodge enemies so you could save a little bit of money on potions and continue training. It really did feel like that struggle we all experienced as kids playing Maplestory for the first time. A great help to this meso concern was that there is a lot more common resources that are worth more money now, so most training spots actually did have some good profit. This is mostly due to the new crafting skills, which use common, etc. resources to craft materials that are used in later, higher level crafts, like for weapons and armor. So one example is ribbon pigs. They drop ribbons that can be used for a tailoring material, which can craft mage gear. So you may be able to find players that are willing to pay a little bit more than what you can sell at an NPC, which should help you out a little bit with that meso struggle early on. Another new feature was the ability to post a shop anywhere you would like, which I found to be an awesome addition. It makes each town feel alive and populated, plus it allows you to quickly look at a few shops while heading to your destination. I know there's a lot of nostalgia for the free market, but it is really fun to see different items in shops based on where you're training. It kind of feels like going to a supermarket where, depending on what city you're at, you're going to have drops related to those monsters nearby. I think this is a fun change, and I do hope it stays. In my experience for questing, it doesn't feel that valuable, as early on spending the meso to use the taxi or use a town scroll feels really bad. There are a few good quests that you should accept, but I wouldn't go out of my way to go and grab it. Now, obviously, if you're running through a town, accepting every quest you can is awesome, and then you can accomplish it later on. But the mesos and the experience you got from those quests didn't feel super impactful when compared to just grinding in a group. One of my biggest complaints with this test was the scrolling. I do feel like it needs some improvement. 10% scrolls were definitely more common than 60%, but they feel really crummy to use. Since you're only getting one additional stat compared to a 60% scroll, it doesn't feel that impactful to land one compared to if you could get your hands on 60% scrolls. When playing early on for some classes, like my class, which is a warrior, it really sucks when you're failing these scrolls that would give you accuracy that is so important early on to be able to train. So I think it would be interesting to have either an exchange available to convert 10% into 60%, or improve the stats of 10% scrolls so that the gamble feels worth it over the safer alternative scrolling with 60%. We did get access to the brand new zone, which is absolutely gorgeous, and the background music, which you're hearing right now, is beautiful, but it's really tough, which is a good thing. It will be a chase goal for players, and I feel it will make some of the later, more daunting levels exciting again. It also adds a lot more variety in later leveling, as there are now quite a few monsters and locations that are available in that level 40 to 50 zone. And lastly, there is a news source that helped me a bunch, which is this site called MeowDB. So this site, which it isn't perfect by any means right now, it provides a lot of useful data such as class and skill information, monster information, drop information, crafting details, there's guides, but by far my favorite tool is the accuracy calculator. Since I was playing a warrior in the beta, this helped me tremendously in figuring out what stats I needed in order to train at the next spot. And that's it. I didn't want to make a super long video, wanted to keep this pretty short for you guys. I appreciate anybody who has stayed until the end. Feel free to leave a comment, chat about your likes and dislikes about the beta, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting videos from time to time as we get additional information about the Classic server moving forward. So with that, thanks guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.